Here's what happened round 15 of the FI Motocross World Championship. Watch Andrea Adamo here, just gets caught at the back there as he ran into the rear wheel of Simon Langenfelder here. 15th round in Sweden at Uddevalla. Langenfelder crossed the foxhole shot line for the 6th time this year and led Liam Everts. We'd had overnight rain, which is why the track was in such a sorry state. Adamo got into trouble here, and at the top of the corner, Isaac Gifting, he fell momentarily as he picked himself up. Camden McClellan thought he'd gone by, but then he too ran into trouble. Those two emerging in around about 7th, 8th place until McClellan then ran into the back of Braceras. That allowed Adamo back in, and then a few laps later, McClellan did get the better of the championship leader to move back into 9th place around about lap 8 of 16. Sasha Coonan was hanging on to 4th position from the 24 of Kevin Horgmo, but then he fell on lap 10. That allowed the Norwegian to go through. Horgmo had won the qualifying race on Saturday, so he was looking at eyeing up a podium. Sasha Coonan fell again, but would not lose a position. He maintained that 5th place out of Emil Weckman and Isaac Gifting. But it was an easy win for Simon Langenfelder, his 4th race win of the season, from Liam Everts, Rick Elsinger, Kevin Horgmo and Sasha Coonan. MX2 race 2. Dry conditions for the start of the race and a freshly prepped track in places just to open it up. This time Kevin Horgmo grabbed the foxhole shot for the 3rd time. He ran wide though. That allowed Adamo to sneak up the inside. Everts ran into trouble there, went from 3rd to 5th as Langenfelder came through and Horgmo went around the outside to take over the lead. Kevin Horgmo then led, but Oriol Oliver and Isaac Gifting making this move for 8th place early on. The 5:17 in no mood for hanging around. The top 3, top of the screen, Kevin Horgmo, Adamo and Langenfelder. Then Sasha Coonan fell from 7th, picked himself up in 9th. That looked like where he would stay. Meanwhile, lap 6, Adamo chucked his KTM down the inside of Horgmo to take over the lead. And 2 corners later, Langenfelder was ruthless as well as he barged down the inside of the Norwegian to move into 2nd. David Braceras and Camden McClellan were going for it here. McClellan getting the better of the Spaniard to move into 5th on lap 11. Rick Elsinger was in there as well. He too found his way past the Spaniard to move into 6th place. Gifting then tried his move on the Spaniard, but he tipped over. He maintained 8th place until a few laps to go when Kevin Horgmo, who was eyeing up a podium, his bike started to nip up. Liam Everts went through, took over 3rd place, and in this first turn is when it all ended for Kevin Horgmo. He was out of the race. That promoted everybody behind him. So McClellan up to 4th, Elsinger 5th, Braceras 6th, Gifting 7th. But final turn, last lap drag to the finish. Adamo picking up his 4th race win of the season from Langenfelder, Everts, McClellan and Elsinger. And the podium, though, looked like this. Langenfelder with a 1-2, edging out Everts with a 2-3, and Adamo a 10-1 to tie the podium 3rd overall with Rick Elsinger. But Adamo now strengthens his grip. He's now 80 points clear of Everts, who's moved up to 2nd. Geertz drops down to 3rd. But Langenfelder, a 2-time winner now this season in MX2. Adamo continues to lead. Next stop, the Netherlands.
Yeah, I was pushing in the end. The track got slippery and I liked it more, so I could go maybe even a little bit faster than Adamo. I catched up on him, but unfortunately it was, yeah, I went into the mud before that jump, and yeah, otherwise then I would be on the outside, so it would be difficult anyway. But yeah, I'm super happy to take my 2nd overall of the season and yeah, go home with another trophy.
Bright skies for MXGP race 1. Calvin Verlanderen getting tagged there, and on the outside, number 92, Valentin Guillot coming unstuck, but it was Roman Fevre for the 4th time who crossed the foxhole shot line. Behind him, his main rival, the championship leader, Jorge Prado. Behind them, Jeremy Seewer in 3rd place, with Paul Jonas in 4th, and Mitch Evans in 5th momentarily. Tim Geiser, who was in 8th, chasing down Maxime Renault back from injury, went upside down, did the 2:43, picked himself up in 13th, and would eventually come back to 10th. Jeffrey Hurling's another rider who didn't enjoy a great start, made this move on Alvin Osland to move into 10th place. And then, after a mistake, Romain Febvre did try to respond to the threat from behind, but then he just made a simple error on lap 7. That allowed Jorge Prado to go through a gift of a race win and 3 points on the cards extra. Koldenoff got the better of Mitch Evans. That was on lap 6. Maxime Renault, not so fortunate, tried to land it in the rut, but he tipped over, eventually came home in 13th place as he tried to pass Jiri Haavisto. Koldenoff here got the better of Ruben Fernandez, out dragging him down the back straight with 3 laps to go to move into 5th. Fernandez came home in 6th. Albi Ferrato on a late charge, moved by Mitch Evans to take over 7th place. Hurlings would take over from Evans on the final lap for 8th place. Evans would come home in 9th, but for the 12th time this year, Prado a winner in race 1. Rain at the start of race 2, heavy rain, but it was the number 91 of Jeremy Seewer who was victorious across the Fox Holeshot line for the 11th time this year. Maxime Renault followed him through, and then your second place finisher from race 1, Romain Febvre, was tucked in there behind him. Prado losing out to Jeffrey Hurlings, and a couple of corners later to Tim Geiser. He emerged at the end of the opening lap in 6th place. Not a lot of passing, though, because of the rain and the conditions, making conditions a little bit more treacherous for the riders who just needed to be mindful of taking any risks. Up front, though, leading every one of the 16 laps was the number 91 of Jeremy Seewer. Febvre got close a couple of times, but wasn't able to make a move. Maxime Renault was out on his own as well in 3rd position, but his teammate, Glenn Koldenoff, needed about 9 or 10 laps to find his way past Paul Jonas to move into 9. Jonas came home in 10. Final lap, Jeffrey Hurlings, top of your screen, ran wide, but managed to hold that 4th place ahead of Geiser and Prado. Prado had a couple of stabs at Geiser in the latter stages of the race, but it was Jeremy Seewer who took his 2nd race win of the season and his 2nd Grand Prix win of the season with a 3-1. His third victory here, not his straight 3rd victory, but 3 wins now in Uddevalla for Jeremy Seewer, having won in MX2 in 2017. Back-to-back wins for him here as well in Uddevalla with a 3-1. Febvre 2nd with 2 seconds. Prado with a 1-6, picking up 3rd overall. He arrived here with a championship lead of 98 points. He leaves here with that lead still intact. Febvre now running out of time, but there are still 240 points left up for grabs. Seewer maintains 3rd in the championship. But an eventful Grand Prix here in Sweden at the 25th running of this event. Prado continues to lead, though, as we head to Arnhem in the Netherlands.
Yeah, amazing moto. Finally another moto win. You know, I had it in the bag. I mean, I felt like I could do that many more rounds before. I had the speed, I had everything, but sometimes you need patience, you know, and it paid off. All those 4th overalls and frustrating days, you know, but super happy to be back on top, and yeah, it shows I have it all, and 4 GPs to go, and I'm super strong and feeling good, and this, you know, gives you an extra boost again of motivation. So super happy, thanks to everybody, and yeah, let's keep going.